And with me in studio now is Mr. Brian Altounian. He's the CEO of Platinum Studios Incorporated, stock symbols PDOS. Brian, good to see you again.
Good morning, Don.
Well, Brian, it's always fun to have you on the program. You bring such a Hollywood flair to what we're doing. But why don't you tell us again what the company does?
Well, we're a broad-based entertainment company. We have a very large library of intellectual property, comic book and graphic novel material, which we adapt and produce for film entertainment, merchandise and licensing, print, obviously, as well as a digital play. So, very broad-based entertainment focus.
Well, it's interesting because if you'd come on this program 5 years ago and said, "Well, Don, we're involved. We have 5,600 comic book characters under license," I would say, "Oh, big deal." Right. Comic books. Now, comic books. I mean, Batman, Iron Man, the Hulk. I mean, these are some of the biggest grossing movies of 2008 and even the last couple of years. And now, probably, arguably, the most successful franchise in film history. Star Wars is going into animation this year. They had the movie come out, TV series in the fall. Right. Comic books are the rage.
Absolutely. And the reality is, over the last 40, 50 years, comic book movies have historically outperformed every other kind of box office movie based on and other kinds of material. So really it's been a favorite for a very long time. Most recently, though, and this year in particular, we've really had some breakout successes. It's been really great.
Now, with 5,600 characters that you basically own, you have the license to. I mean, you must be entertaining all kinds of offers for projects, television series, movies, you name it. I mean, give us an idea of some of the things you're going with.
Yeah, for sure. And I will say this, the interesting thing is, and we'll talk a little bit from an economy perspective. The sort of the general malaise in the economy this year has had an impact across the board. Mm-hmm. But even in the entertainment industry in particular, we had the writer's strike at the beginning of the year and sort of a pending SAG strike. And so the entertainment industry, in addition to all the other things that are going on in the economy, have been impacted a little bit by this. But what we've seen is we've kind of come out of this general malaise out of the summertime, and it seems like September is starting to pick up steam again. We've had a lot of attention lately from the studios. We've got a couple of studio pictures that we're working on. We're very excited about. We've got some independently financed films that we're working on. We're getting closer to pre-production dates on a couple of our movies, which is very, very exciting. But lately, we've really seen a lot of television projects, animation projects, a lot of interest. Now, again, we're catching full steam. So the Hollywood industry in general, the studios in particular, are really coming after us for access to our properties. So.
When you first came on the program a month or so ago, we had the distinct pleasure of debuting a web portal of yours, right. Wowio.com. We actually saw it launch while we were producing the program. Right. What's going on with Wowio since the launch?
Yeah, it's great, and I'm glad you bring that up because again, when we look at the base of our business being comic books to movies, and knowing that the factors there can be a lot of factors that impact our ability to move forward on some of those, as I was just mentioning. We decided to actually expand our company's focus and move into the digital space as well as our merchandise and licensing area. And so Wowio really represented a great opportunity for us to look at the delivery of content digitally. And so Wowio, so the great thing about Wowio is obviously we have some transition issues. We acquired the company. We've only relaunched in the last month. But since we relaunched Wowio, we've now given our publishers access to a worldwide audience. So before we're a publisher where readers were only viewing this published material in the United States, in the month that we've launched Wowio, we now have readers in over 185 countries. And so we've seen some amazing traction. We're getting readers from literally all over the world, in countries as small as Mauritania, for example. And so it's really so we've seen that there's this global thirst for content, published material as well as the comics and graphic novel material. So it's really done. We're very excited so far. We haven't done a lot of marketing on it. It's really been word of mouth on the publishing side. But we've really seen, and again for us, the thing that we've seen that we've been very, very excited about is the fact that we've got publishers who had some sort of restricted distribution channels. Now that they've got this worldwide access, that are getting readership from all over the world, it really is about getting content into the hands of the readers in as many forms and formats as possible. And that's really what Platinum Studios has been focused on as we've again expanded our entertainment focus. How do we get content into the hands of the viewers, whether it's a movie, television, DVD, on handhelds, on their cell phones, now digitally and in any kind of format. So, again, very, very excited about that progress with Wowio.
We've got about a minute left, but I did want to touch on something we spoke about the last time. You had mentioned some pending projects that you're working on that are some great names attached to it, like Spielberg and Robert Downey Jr. Right. Can you give us a short synopsis of what's going on since we last spoke?
Sure. Our pet project, the Cowboys and Aliens. Cowboys and Aliens was really the first book that we ever published under the Platinum Studios print label. It was one of the leading graphic novels for the year of 2006. And so since that occurred, we now are in pre-production, if you will. The people that are involved are really kind of an A-list group of talent associated with it. So the studios are DreamWorks, Universal, Paramount, Imagine is involved. As you mentioned, Steven Spielberg executive producing, Robert Downey Jr. attached to play the lead. The guys who wrote the Iron Man script wrote the Cowboys and Aliens script. The guys who wrote Transformers are the production team that are producing it for DreamWorks. So we really couldn't ask for a better, really a better scenario, a better group of folks attached. And so the folks at DreamWorks are excited, we're excited, and hopefully, right now we're slated for a summer 2010 release. So next year we'll see Transformers 2 as the big DreamWorks release, and the summer after that, Cowboys and Aliens and Platinum Studios.
It's always fun talking to you. It's like being at lunch at the Ivy. Again, Brian Altounian, stock symbols PDOS, Platinum Studios. Thanks for the update.
Thank you, Don.